Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the SFX Loop. I am your host, Byrne. This week we're doing the SFX Loop because I've been involved in a project that I've been doing now for the past couple of weeks that I've just found kind of interesting, and I think there are videos on how to do this online here and there. There are a few videos here and there, but I wanted to do a video myself kind of showing my process, because a lot of these videos, the process is a little bit different. Now, this process does involve having a few things. You're going to need some stuff. You're going to need some sort of burner, CD burner, DVD burner, Blu-ray burner. You're going to need a computer, a Mac, PC, whatever. Those are the basics in this process. But I've been doing this thing lately now, where, now granted, if you sell this stuff, it's technically considered illegal, but to make them for yourself, there's nothing illegal about making your own copies. Streaming services, very specifically, like, Disney Plus and Netflix and stuff like that, they release a lot of original content now. Stuff that you can't buy. If you're a physical media collector, you can't buy a disc. You cannot buy. You can go on eBay and people are selling it, but they are selling homemade, bootlegged discs, just like I'm holding in my hands right now. So you don't have to buy this from somebody else. You can make it yourself. Like this movie, Let It Be, The Beatles' Let It Be, is only available on Disney Plus. You can buy Get Back, the Peter Jackson documentary. But if you want the original 1970 Beatles' Let It Be, it is a Disney Plus exclusive. Great. It's locked to a streaming service. So if you want to own a physical copy of this, or say you don't want to be paying for Disney Plus for the rest of your life, or Disney Plus decides they don't want to put this on there anymore and they remove it, then you cannot watch this anymore, or you can't obtain a copy of this. Obviously, we all know how streaming works, okay? So, I went down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out if I wanted to make a disc for myself, cover and all, which I'll get into in this video. How would I go about doing that? Like, how do I record it from... Because back in the day when we had TVs, you wanted to record something off TV, you recorded it. And you had it on a VHS tape or a DVD recorder or something along those lines, or even a TiVo for that matter. But nowadays, it's not as simple because we're dealing with streaming services. I discovered this program. Okay, and this is not a sponsored video. As a matter of fact, I don't even currently own the program. I only used it on the free trial. It's called StreamFab. It's from a company called DVD Fab, which I had used in the past for copying movies, DVDs, and whatnot. Well, there's still a company, and they make a ton of products. It's an expensive program, don't get me wrong. To buy individual modules, say like an Amazon downloader or a Disney Plus downloader, it's gonna run you between $70 and $90, depending on how you want to use the program. If you want a lifetime membership for it, or if you just want to use it for like a month so you can download a couple of movies, you can pay like $40 or so and get it for a month and then just use it. All right. So now I'm going to show you the process. So this is my process, and this is how I do it. You can use the free trial for StreamFab. The free trial will give you 3 downloads, complete downloads, full downloads, for a multitude of streaming services. And it'll give you 3 per streaming service. So however whatever service you want to use, Netflix, Disney Plus, whatever. So if, say, you've got Netflix and you've got Disney Plus and you've got Amazon Prime, say you have those, a lot of people have those particular services, okay? Right there, that's 3, 6, 9. That's 9 movies that you can download for free using the trial program, the free trial. And there, you can download it in full copy, full quality, no problem, okay? So basically what you would want to do is You open the program, you get into it, you get into your free trial, and then you pick your program that you want to download from. Okay, so for the example, I did Disney Plus. I don't currently have any more freebies, so you'll see on the screen it says I can't do it, but I can guide you through the process at least. So you click on the Disney Plus, you log into your Disney Plus from the little browser in the app, in the actual program. Then you choose the movie that you want to download. You're going to get a pop-up screen. That screen's going to give you some information. You pick what you want. You pick the quality that you want for the movie. You pick the, if you want, what kind of audio quality you want to record, and you click and you pick, you know, if you want subtitles or not. Now, for my purposes, the way that I'm doing it, I'm not able to get the subtitles. So the subtitles are kind of unimportant to me. They might be important to certain people. So you have to figure out how to use the subtitles. I personally don't use the subtitles. I just do the video and the audio. My discs, the discs that I made myself, these literally, you put them in the player and they play. They chapter every 5 minutes. When the movie's done, it goes back to the beginning and it repeats the movie. But this will play in a standalone Blu-ray player. I've tried it in multiple and it's worked fine. And this is full 1080p quality. So then once you've got your file, you downloaded your file, you need to take that file now and you need to make that file compatible for a Blu-ray disc. The program I've been using is a free software that you can download if you have Mac, and I think you can get it for PC as well. It's called Handbrake, okay? So I'm going to show you how I go through that now. So we put the program into Handbrake, and then you have to set your parameters. You can use the exact parameters that I'm showing on the screen right now if you want to make a compliant file. I'm actually, for the test file, I didn't click on the two-pass. It does like an encode, like a two-pass encode, which will give you a better quality file. I just left it on the one pass so that it would do a quick piece of the file so I could show you how I was doing this. So then you go through this process, which you should be seeing on the screen right now. Once you've made your file, I use MKV files. Okay, because I have another program which is a freeware which will allow me to use MKV files. Okay, so and what MKV is it's literally just a folder that puts the files together. I keep them like muxed together is what they call it. So basically you could take that MKV file when you're done with this and you could play it in, I use VLC in my computer, a program called VLC. You can take that, use it in VLC, and you could play that MKV file in your computer. If that's as far as you want to go with this, there you go. You have a finished file. Heck, if that's as far as you want to go with this, you could use the file that you downloaded from StreamFab and just watch that in the computer. You don't have to go any further than that. But if you want to make a disc, if you want to put this onto a disc and own your own copy of a movie, this is the rest of the process. I also have a program called TSMuxR, okay? TSMuxR. And it is what it basically does is it can rip files apart and re-encode them in a few different ways. We're doing Blu-ray, so this is specifically for Blu-ray, and TSMuxR I think pretty much works for Blu-ray, and I think it might work for 4K as well, but I haven't actually done any 4K discs with it. So then what I want to do is you want to open the file in TSMuxR. And TSMuxR is free. It's a freeware. You can find it out there. It's not, you don't have to download off sketchy sites. It's free. You can get that and Handbrake for free and lifetime. I mean, you don't have to ever pay for those programs. They're free programs. So then you want to take that file, your MKV file, open it up in TSMuxR. You're going to take that and you're going to set it to a Blu-ray ISO, choose your folder, make sure you've got your audio and your video, and you have to make sure, now I made the audio file AC3, okay, which is Dolby Digital, because that works in a Blu-ray player. You can make it to whatever you want. You can test out different files, but the files that you get from DVD Stream Fab will say like EAC3 or AAC. That's usually what you see when you download the audio files for the movie. Both of those will not work in a standalone DVD player. They'll work in your computer, but they will not work in a standalone DVD player. So you have to reconvert that file into something that works. AC3 is a standard. It's Dolby Digital. It works. It's always worked. You're not going to get lossless quality. You're going to get compressed AC Dolby Digital, but that is honestly, the sound quality is really good, and it's not an issue for me personally. Once you get that file, you make sure you got your video file. You make sure you got your audio file. Okay. Then you just click start on the program, and you mux those to what's called an ISO file. This is going to give you a Blu-ray ISO. Now, this ISO file is a file that you can burn in any burning software. You need obviously a DVD burner, but you can burn that file in any software that will burn. You can actually burn those files using the built-in image burner on a Mac. You can just right-click it, burn image to disk, and it will burn that image to a disk file. You can do it that way. Sometimes that can be a little bit slower of a burn. You don't have to have a burning software for this, but it might be something that you might want to do. And I use NCH Express Burner is what it's called. Honestly, it was like a $30, $40 program. I bought it. It's a one-time buy, and I can use it to make ISOs, and I can use it to burn CDs. I can use it. It's a burning software. It's like Nero or Toast. Some people will use Roxio or Toast. So those are programs that you can use to do this. But like I said, you don't have to buy one. You can actually use the built-in image burner on your computer. You just got to look that up and figure out how that works. So when you're done with this, you've got a disc that you've burnt yourself. Like a homemade BDR that works, that will play in your player. Now, if you don't care about covers and cases, and you don't even care if you want to put it in a book on a spindle or something, you're done. Your disc works in your player. You're all set. But say, you want to make a box art. This I designed myself. I did this all myself. I used to use Photoshop for everything. I don't currently have Photoshop because I don't want to pay the subscription fees for Photoshop. However, there is a free program online called Photopea. Photopea is a website that you can go to that it's literally Photoshop in a browser. It sometimes can get a little sluggish and work a little slowly, so you've got to be patient with it. However, if you're used to using Photoshop, you can find free templates to make a DVD cover or a Blu-ray cover online. Very easy to find. Just look up Blu-ray sleeve template or DVD sleeve template, and you will get a template that you can use to, you lay your image in the sections of the template. Then you just make that into a file. I personally put it on legal. When I do it, I make it as a PDF, and I do it on a legal size, not letter size. I do it legal. And I print them out at my local Staples. You can print them at home if you have a printer, like an inkjet printer. I don't. So I go to my local Staples. It's like 80 cents a print or something like that. And I put it on a legal size paper because sometimes the covers will be a little bit, they get chopped off the corners. So you want to make sure that if you're making a PDF and you're printing it, you make sure that it's not resizing it to the page. You make sure that it's not fit to page. It's open, like the full size of the file on the page. But if you do it as a legal size and print it on legal paper, it should be exactly the same size. You shouldn't have any worries with that. I mean, this takes some creativity and some time and a bit of money to do this. But once you've got everything in place, you can make multiple discs. Like I've made a few. Look, Netflix. I like the Motley Crue movie, The Dirt. You can't buy this movie. It does not exist. You can buy it off eBay. Somebody else made it, and they made exactly the same thing I'm holding in my hands right here, because that's how it works. There's a few different programs you can use for downloading the movie streams, okay? The one I showed you was StreamFab. And like I said, I'm not sponsored by that. This is the movie that started it all, because I love Can't Buy Me Love. I love this movie from the 90s, okay? But you cannot get an HD copy of this movie. You can buy a crappy DVD of it, but if you want it on Blu-ray in HD, you can't get it. However, you can get this off the streaming services. You can rent this on Amazon for $3, okay? And then you can just rip it using the StreamFab program. Then you have the HD file. The StreamFab program actually rips the file from the source. So what it does is it gives you the actual file that is being streamed. So you're getting the highest possible quality you can get from that file. Some of them are rather small, and when you re-encode them, they will be bigger. They'll be like 15 gig, 20 gig, depending on the size of the movie. And you can burn that on a BD25, a BDR25, like standard Blu-ray recordables. So this is what I've been doing. You know, you gotta buy cases and print the disc and buy blank discs. Yes, there's a process to this. But you don't buy like one case at a time. You get like 25 in a pack for like $30 or something like that. You get like, for your discs, you can buy like a 50 spindle. I use these Plex disc Blu-ray Rs, BDRs, and they work really well for me. I have had no problems with them. They play perfectly in my Panasonic UB820. Blu-ray player. I also have a Panasonic UB420 in the other room, and they work perfectly fine in those. Not a problem. Yeah. And this is what I've been doing, and this is what I've got. I mean, movies that I love that you cannot buy on Blu-ray. They're only available on DVD, and some of them, like this, is not necessarily that easy to even find on DVD anymore. So I ripped this from an Amazon rental. I ripped this from an Amazon rental. I ripped this from Netflix. I ripped this from Disney Plus. And I actually haven't even paid for the software yet. I just used the free trial. But I didn't have a ton of movies that I wanted. I just had a few movies that I really wanted. And I made them myself. And they look and sound just as good as a store-bought Blu-ray disc. So if this is something that you're interested in, it's not that hard of a process. It's not illegal to do if you are keeping the copies for yourself and you're not selling them online or selling them on eBay. There are people who are, and if you want to go buy those, go right ahead. But the process is doable. You can do it yourself. So yeah, so I just hope you learned something from this, and I hope I explained it and gave you some ideas. There are quite a few videos out there. This is the process I'm using. Like I said, these discs don't have any bonus features. They have nothing on them. You put them in the player, the movie starts, it plays the movie. You can chapter it every 5 minutes. The TS Mux R program, the auto chapters every 5 minutes. So the finished ISO file is chaptered every 5 minutes, which I'll usually check in my VLC program. I'll check it to make sure it came out okay and burn the disc. Or you burn the disc, check it in your player. I mean, if you've got a spindle of 50 discs, I mean, you can make a few mistakes, and you will make a few mistakes. But I don't know, I think the process is kind of worth it. And for me, if I don't have these streaming services anymore, I can still watch Let It Be. I can still watch The Dirt. I can still watch Return to Horror High. I can still watch those things without having to be connected to the internet, without having to have those services, because I now own a physical copy that I created myself. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you. Hi, my name is Jay Byrne. I am the creator of the SFX Loop and the SFX Loop. It's come to my attention after looking at my YouTube analytics that the majority of my viewers are not subscribed. So if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. If you have something to say, leave a comment in the comment section below. Maybe click the notification bell so that way if I make a new video, you'll be notified and you can check it out if it's something that you're interested in. If you like this stuff, like, subscribe, and comment. And I thank you for watching and supporting the FX Loop and the SFX Loop.